It is Super Bowl week. Super Bowl 60 is here, James, and we are breaking down what a Super Bowl victory would mean for these teams. We did Seahawks yesterday. Today, we're talking about what would a Super Bowl victory mean for those New England Patriots and some of their players and coaches. James, we'll start off at the top. What would a Super Bowl victory mean for Drake Maye?
A Super Bowl for Drake Maye would mean two things for sure. One, everyone shutting up about his path to the Super Bowl. Everyone saying he had the most cupcake, easiest schedule. He played, well, guess what? He's going to play the top 4 of the top 6 defenses in the league to get to that Super Bowl. That's going to be number one. But number two, a Super Bowl for Drake Maye would really mean his time to step up and maybe the number one quarterback in the AFC. Because as you can tell, we got Pat Mahomes sideline with the ACL tear. Cool. We've already kind of fallen off on Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson. Everyone still loves Josh Allen. Everyone thinks he's going to win one. But guess what? If you win Super Bowl in the same division as Josh Allen, he's got to be the better quarterback. And that's what's going to happen. People are going to want Drake Maye over Josh Allen because guess what? Drake Maye won me that game and Josh Allen cannot, it seems.
Man.
And I know people are going to find stats and fair and what's this, but that's what could happen if Drake Maye wins the Super Bowl.
Man, that would be tough to stomach if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. And I'll say this too. I think a Super Bowl for Drake Maye, it definitely solidifies his spot. For me, I don't think you can make a top 3 list without including Drake Maye in there. If he is a Super Bowl champion, he's going to finish top 2 in MVP voting at the very minimum. We're recording this before they announce the awards later this week. Maybe he wins the MVP and he caps off an all-time great season with an MVP in the regular season, a Super Bowl victory, and likely he would be the Super Bowl MVP depending on how the game would go. Could really cement himself amongst the elite of the elite. Now, I wouldn't say best in the AFC, which, let's be honest, if you're saying best in the AFC, you're saying best in the NFL. Unless you're really high on Matthew Stafford. But Drake Maye, he's setting himself up for completely breaking the market in 2 years when contract time comes up. Could Drake Maye, with a Super Bowl victory, could he end up being the first $70 million quarterback in the NFL? Because that's the way the market's trending.
Ooh.
All right. What would a Super Bowl victory mean for the Patriots running backs Trayveon Henderson and Rhamondre Stevenson?
This one was a bit of a tough one for me because this is a position that nobody really keeps an eye on for New England. It's all about Drake Maye and Stefon Diggs and the defense. But a Super Bowl for these guys would mean, of course, a couple things. One, Trayveon will probably get more touches next year than this year. Of course, splitting time with Rhamondre. But I think a guy like Rhamondre will find a deal somewhere else. But also, then again, teams may look into, hey, can we find a way to go with a running back by committee? We don't joke about the trend, but we see like what Detroit's been doing. We saw earlier with some other teams, the double head running back, but maybe not paying them as much. Can that work on a cheaper balance? Maybe.
Yeah, I think for me, if the Patriots win a Super Bowl, it will be likely on the back of these two running backs. And you know me, James, I'm a fantasy football guy through and through. A Super Bowl victory where Rhamondre Stevenson balls out would be the worst possible outcome for both of their 2026s. Now, bad news for anyone hoping that Rhamondre might give up the keys to the car and Trayveon be the lead guy next year. While Trayveon Henderson did lead the Pats in rushing this year with 911 yards and 9 touchdowns, he only started 4 games. And a lot of those were because Rhamondre Stevenson was hurt throughout that time. And Rhamondre Stevenson's been very good in the playoffs. And Rhamondre Stevenson's contract is fully guaranteed for the 2026 season. So he's not going anywhere. And if he is to have a big Super Bowl game and he balls out and they win, Trayveon Henderson's going to have trouble finding the field in 2026 is my fear. I think he's a great player, and we know how electric he is, but we also know that he wasn't trusted by Vrabel all year. And if they win the Super Bowl, that is going to make Mike Vrabel feel vindicated that he made the right choice. So all of us Trayveon Henderson fans are going to be left holding the bag because it's going to be another year of Rhamondre Stevenson if they win the Super Bowl.
Gosh, that guy's been in there forever, it feels like.
Yep. Now, James, this is a fun one. What would a Super Bowl victory mean for Stefon Diggs?
A Super Bowl for Stefon Diggs would mean, ladies, your time is coming. Because guess what? He's about to get another one pregnant. Another one pregnant. Another one pregnant. My man can't stop, man. How many ever catches he gets during the Super Bowl? That's how many women are getting pregnant in 26. That's my bet. A Super Bowl for Stefon Diggs. And in all honesty, though, a Super Bowl for Stefon Diggs would mean one thing. He could take down that photo of him staring at the Chiefs with all the confetti coming down.
Y'all know the one.
He could take that down and have the confetti of him standing as a Super Bowl champion holding the trophy on that side.
That would be a full circle moment. I think a Super Bowl victory for Stefon Diggs. James, I know you're a stickler for the Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Famer if he gets a Super Bowl victory. Listen to this, James. Of the last 7 seasons that he was fully healthy for, he had 1,000 yards in every single one of them. Everyone wrote off Stefon Diggs constantly. He's a bad teammate. He's a diva. You can't work with him. He got ran out of Minnesota. He got ran out of Buffalo. Houston didn't want to pay him. Well, he found a home with the Patriots, and if he gets a Super Bowl with them as their definitive wide receiver one, you couple that with 4 Pro Bowls, an AP first-team All-Pro, a second-team All-Pro on there, and a Super Bowl victory, I think Stefon Diggs is definitely a Hall of Famer if he gets a Super Bowl.
Ooh.
James, what would a Super Bowl victory mean for defensive lineman Milton Williams?
Milton Williams, back-to-back Super Bowl champion. That's what that would mean if he were to win the Super Bowl with the New England Patriots. But in all honesty, no. It would also solidify him becoming one of those up-and-up defensive tackles in the game. I know he got paid like he's the top guy in the league, but I know we have a few guys that we prefer over guys like Milton Williams, but his production this year, hey, man, is something that you would need to look at. I could see him easily being a top 10 DT in this game. I would say for young DTs out there, you probably just help their markets go up for guys that maybe not getting as much action from heavy in-depth defensive line teams now. But I would say Milton Williams, hey, shout out to you, man, for chasing the bag. I know he jokes and says that he didn't like anything about New England, and now it's all different stories, but maybe finding the bag, but fitting in within your regime style of play.
I think if Milton Williams becomes a Super Bowl champion, I think whoever wrote that article that gave him an F, gave the signing of Milton Williams an F after free agency last year, I think they're going to have to quit their job or at least eat a newspaper on camera or something. They're going to have to do something to make up for the fact that Milton Williams has been an anchor for that Patriots defense. He has been sensational for them this year. He's made plays all over the place. And you mentioned it back-to-back. He'd be the only back-to-back defensive player that I'm aware of, besides all the Chiefs guys that were just back-to-back a few years ago. He's the NFL's version of Will Smith. All right, James, what would a Super Bowl victory mean for Christian Gonzalez?
A Super Bowl victory for Christian Gonzalez, Spence, would mean one thing, man, solidifying him in that top 3 corners in the game. We're expecting him to be guarding guys like JSN and Cooper Kupp during that Super Bowl. So, of course, he's already been a spectacular guy through and through since he's been on the team, putting his name up there against guys like your guy, Derek Stingley, PS2, and some other guys, then.
Yeah, I think Christian Gonzalez with a Super Bowl victory, I think he definitely is in that conversation. You probably even give him the nod if it's close because he is a Super Bowl champion. And if the Patriots are going to pull off the upset of the Seahawks, it's going to be on the back of someone like Christian Gonzalez stepping up and taking JSN completely out of the game. Christian Gonzalez is capable of it, though. He is one of those guys that when your wide receiver one is matched up with him, a lot of the game, you have to take that into account that he's going to erase that side of the field. He truly is. I'm not saying he's as good as Darrelle Revis, but he truly is one of those Darrelle Revis type of guys where his entire side of the field is an island. He's going to go one-on-one with you, and you're going to have to win. And I got to say, he's the number 0. I have always a soft spot in my heart for the number 0 guys ever since they brought that number back. So it'd be cool to see Christian Gonzalez get a Super Bowl win. All right, last one. What would a Super Bowl victory mean for head coach Mike Vrabel?
Oh man, a Super Bowl victory for Mike Vrabel would mean one thing only. Tennessee, man, y'all fired the wrong mofo. In Cleveland, you had him on your staff for a little bit. Why didn't you sign that guy either? But no, in all honesty, him winning a Super Bowl as a player and as a coach, I'm not gonna lie, this is premature for me, Spence. I wouldn't say I put him in the Hall of Fame right now, but seeing how you've already flipped this Patriots team from 3-14 to 14-3, you're a Super Bowl champ. He's gonna live by that code, just kind of like how Bill Belichick lived by that code. And if he keeps that trajectory up, keeping the Patriots in a lot of these playoff deep runs, Super Bowls, a lot of wins, I see him making it as a Hall of Fame coach slash player.
Yeah, I think with a Super Bowl victory, Mike Vrabel cements himself probably over Rob Gronkowski as a top 3 New England Patriot of all time. You're not
Agree.
dethroning Brady, you're not dethroning Belichick, but
Yep.
head coach Mike Vrabel, coupled with all of the Super Bowls he was a player for them, you have to have Mike Vrabel as the third best Patriot of all time
All
if he
time.
gets it done yet again for the Patriots, but this time wearing a different hat.
Mm-hmm.
But y'all let us know in the comments, what would a Super Bowl victory mean for some of the New England Patriots players, and who were some legacies that we left off? Y'all let us know in the comments, and make sure you are liked and subscribed to all of our channels. Get us on Instagram, get us on TikTok, and hit that subscribe button here on YouTube if you haven't already. We got Super Bowl content coming out all week long
Boom.
on Big Game Energy.